All right, well, today let's talk about everybody's favorite topic, lipids. So, lipids. Composition of a lipid is they're made up of a glycerol, one glycerol, and 3 fatty acids. Okay, so the composition of a lipid is a glycerol combined with 3 fatty acids. So we're going to draw, just like we did for carbohydrates, a big diagram. Big diagram, so be prepared for that. So the first thing you're going to see here is you're going to see a glycerol. And glycerol is really just a carbohydrate. It is a 3-carbon sugar. And we're going to draw this in what we call chain form. So what we'll do is C, C, and C. Okay? What's going to happen is that'll be bonded to an H right here. That'll be bonded to an OH there, right? Now that makes sense, right? Because carbohydrate, H2O. Because carbon needs 4 bonded structures, though, it's got an extra hydrogen on this one to give it 4 bonds. Right? 1 with the carbon, 2 oxygen, hydrogen, and hydrogen. Here we're going to have an OH and an H. And here we're going to have an OH and another H. And down here we're going to have another H coming off to give us that 4th bond. Okay? So here's your glycerol. And what that's going to do is that's going to bond together with a fatty acid, and 3 of them specifically. So what does this fatty acid look like? It looks like this. It's a carbon with a double bonded oxygen coming off the top of it, like so. And then what you're going to have is you're going to have a hydrogen coming off, or actually you're going to have an H and an O coming off here. And coming off here, you're going to have a large carbon chain. Now that large carbon chain is going to be C15, 15 carbons, and 31 hydrogens. And remember, we're going to have 3 of them. So we're going to build this thing 3 times. So C, double bonded O, we're going to have an OH here, C15, H31, and here's a third, C double bonded O, OH, C15, H31. Now what's going to happen here is we are then going to have a dehydration reaction occur where we are going to, a dehydration synthesis, where what we're going to do is we're going to pull out water and we're going to create a polymer. By the way, these are your 3 fatty acids right here. So 3 fatty acids. All right there, 1, 2, and 3. So what will happen is we're going to take the H here and the OH here, we'll pull that out, we'll make a water. We'll take the H right here, the OH here, we'll pull that out, we'll make another water. And then we're going to take this H right here and that OH right there, and we'll make another one. And what we're going to end up doing is we're going to end up building this big, huge molecule that is known cumulatively as a lipid. So a glycerol, 3 fatty acids, makes up the polymer, which is called a lipid. You have to write small, all right, again, because we got to fit all this together. So, here we go. We have an H, we have a C. Then, what ends up happening here is we end up with an O in the middle here. We end up with a C, double bonded O, C15, H31. So there's your first thing right there. Then we're going to end up with another one. And by the way, this C will be bonded to this C, right? So we have an H right there. You're going to have an O. You're going to have a C, double bonded O, C15, H31. And you'll have another carbon bonded to this carbon. So here's your glycerol right here. An O, a C double bonded O, C15, H31. And also another byproduct, right, is you're also going to have, we talked about 3 H2Os that come off. So 3 waters as well. But here's your lipid. Now, here's the big thing I always remember with the structure of a lipid. What it ends up looking like with the bonds is it ends up looking, if we chase the bonds here, it ends up looking like a giant capital letter E. Okay? Alright, so let's go further more into this now. So your sheets now ask you, so in that diagram we just did, what is the monomers, right? And the monomers were the glycerol and the 3 fatty acids. Right, so you had a glycerol and 3 fatty acids. The polymer was the whole thing called a lipid. The thing when we put them together made many of something. Bonding between this, so the bonding between the type of bonding that is here to form this polymer is called a covalent bond, and obviously I'm shortening here with the dot, dot, dot. But at the end here, you want to note that it's a covalent bond that's joining these glycerols and these 3 fatty acids together. How does this bond happen? It happens via, just like any bond that's made, a dehydration synthesis, right? And likewise, let's say I wanted to break it apart. So I wanted to take my lipid and turn it back into a glycerol and 3 fatty acids. Well, how do we break it? Well, we break it using the same process we talked all along called hydrolysis, or I'll hear it referred to normally as hydrolysis. Okay, hydrolysis. Hydro meaning we add water, lysis meaning we break it or split it. Now, a couple of examples real quickly of lipids. When people think of lipids, in general what they think of is they think of this term. They think of them as fats, right? And so I always think of 2 types of fats. Saturated versus unsaturated. So saturated and unsaturated. And here's how I remember and keep these things straight. I say to myself this: saturated starts with the letter S. And so therefore, saturated, these are solid fats. Why? Because solid also starts with the letter S. And so I'll give you a couple examples of this. Butter is a good example, right, of a lipid here. You know what another one that you could think of would be like Crisco, if you've ever baked with that. Right? So these are solid fats. Now, when I think of unsaturated, I see this un-S. And so what does that mean? I know it's a weird word, right? And it probably doesn't even exist. It means it's unsolid, meaning they're liquids. So some examples of some unsaturated fats would be things like vegetable oil, corn oil, I guess that's a type of vegetable oil, but peanut oil, etc., etc., etc. So the difference between saturated and unsaturated. So what are we using lipids for? Well, there's a couple of things. Number one, the uses are long-term energy storage. So long-term energy storage. And the second thing that we're going to do here is we're going to help to support in your body your cell membranes. Because cell membranes are composed of and made up of something called phospholipids, which we will get to when we talk about cells. And that's all about lipids.